Okay guys, last time I left you, I had shown you the process I was going to do for the headers. And as you can see, my headers are in place now. And like I said, Sam Lopez, great idea, worked really well. You know, I was able to make the headers and make them shaped and get them around the starter on this side, which I told you was going to be kind of a challenge. I've also got my control arm. I haven't hooked up the actual steering linkage yet, but I will do that here in a bit. Got my drive shaft in, as you can see. The drive shaft, the ends are U-joints from a NASCAR kit and a piece of aluminum tubing. Cut to length. That's the way I do my drive shafts. A lot beefier that way. I mean, this car had a lot of torque going to that rear differential, I'm sure, so I wanted to make sure it was nice and beefy on the car. I've also added in my center, I guess it's called a stabilizer bar there. That's been added in as well, made out of square plastic tubing with a piece of aluminum tubing going through the middle that's mashed on the ends with some photo wedge bolts that hold it in place. Well, it doesn't hold it in place, just makes it look good. And as you can see also on my headers, I meant to tell you, I've got them all heat stained. Now I've accomplished this heat staining by using a new product out there. Well, it's not that new, but it is to me, which is the Alclad Hot Metal series. I've got the Hot Metal Sepia and Hot Metal Violet. If you guys have been watched the build when I did the Gurney Eagle Model Factory Hero 112 kit, you saw how cool that stuff can really work over real metal. So I decided to do the same thing since the solder is metal and the end pieces are metal, and I stained them up and made them look really nice and well used a little bit of heat on them. It's amazing what that sepia and violet will do. It's good stuff. Also, what I've done at this point in time is I have flocked the carpet, and instead of using actual flocking from Detail Master or something, I use this stuff called embossing powder. I don't know if you guys have heard of it before, but if you go to Michael's or one of those places, a craft shop, maybe Hobby Lobby has it, Joann's Fabric, I got a bag of it right here. Embossing powder is a real thin powder that I believe seamstress or sewing people use, or you know, sewers use to mark a line on a piece of fabric, and it wipes right off, but the dust from it leaves a mark so they know where to sew along the line with the machine when they're sewing with a sewing machine. So this stuff here, you put it on with some white glue. What I do is I just brush the glue over that area. I did this part. I don't do the whole thing because it dries too quick. I did this area first in the corner here on this one side, and then I just took the whole, just took some embossing powder and kind of just, you know, tapped it onto that area liberally. And then I push it down with my finger, let it dry for a little while, and then you just tap the excess back into the bag. And I did the center hump and the other side the same way. Real effective stuff. If you want to get a real fine carpet, this is the way to do it. You'll see it's a little thin in some areas, but that's because it's in a reflection here in the camera. But once it's in the car, you'll never know. So it really works out really well. It's pretty good stuff. The last thing I want to show you, and I haven't done it yet, guys, is my mufflers. Remember I said I was going to use some mufflers from, I was either going to make them on my lathe or my mill, or make them out of plastic. Well, I finally found these really trick pieces from Extreme Scale Detailing, Chip Reimer. Got to thank Chip for that, for sending these to me. And I ordered them from him a couple weeks ago, and got them in about a week, so real fast service. They're made out of metal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some aluminum tubing here instead of the solder I told you guys I was going to use, the plumber solder. Well, I found that this aluminum tubing will fit right into the ends of the collectors on the ends of the exhaust here. And I'm going to run them back, and they'll actually fit over the ends of these exhaust pipes or these mufflers. So they slide right over that, see? So that's going to work out perfect. And I might put some clamps around there out of embossing metal, or some, you know, make it look like there's actual clamps over the ends of the exhaust. Who knows? I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I'm just going to put a piece of this same tubing here, a short piece, hanging out the back. And my exhaust is going to exit right there by the differential. Remember me telling you that most of the Eleanors that were in the movie, the exhaust, even though it has the exhaust pipe exits on the side here, they really weren't functional on most of the cars. So what I'm going to end up doing is just having it terminate out of the bottom of the car. You'll see once I get it all built up. That's my next step there, is to get that accomplished. And then the chassis, for the most part, is done, and I can start doing some work on the interior. What I will be doing in my next video is some bare metal foil work on the windows. I'm going to show you guys how I bare metal foil. You might like my routine better than what you've seen of others or your own. And you'll be surprised that I don't do a whole piece around the windshield or the rear and just waste all that. I literally measure the area through here and make a piece the same shape and cut it across here. But that's saved for another video. So I hope you enjoyed this one right now. Like I said, I was really pleased with how the exhaust came out, the drive shaft, and the whole bottom of the car is pretty much done now. So Eleanor is really looking good. Like I said, bare metal foil will be on the next video, and then we'll move on to the interior and get this build finished up. So thanks for watching. See you next time.